Okay, Bismillah. Okay, folks, welcome back to our class. We're looking at numerical reasoning, short test 3, first past the post. This is a preparation for the 11 plus for this year, right? So let's have a look. Question number 1. Right, in a recent survey, 500 children were asked what their favorite flavor crisps were. With the results shown in the pie chart below, other includes all other flavors. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at what we are doing here. Right, the kind of pie chart we have here in this particular question, folks, is the percentage pie chart. So we have here ready salted is 52%, salt and vinegar 14, cheese is 28. Right, I've got the label here. Okay, I want somebody to put their hand up, tell me what does the diagram not to scale mean to the question one. It means
you're not supposed to scale.
You're not supposed to start measuring on the scale. So I'm saying, oh well, this is 40 and that'll be 20 and stuff. So don't start measuring on the pie chart. Okay, it means it's like a sketch. Question says, what percentage of children chose a flavor other than ready salted, salt and vinegar, and cheese and onion as their favorite crisp? So we got other than ready salted. So it can't be this one. It can't be cheese and onion, and it can't be salt and vinegar. So what does that leave then?
6%.
So that leaves
6.
Okay. Which one are they talking about now?
That one.
Talking about the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we happy with that, folks?
Yeah.
So the other one,
6%.
other one is going to be 6%. Okay. And that is going to be the answer to question 1A. That's right. So that answer is 6%. Next question. Says how many children did not choose ready salted as their favorite flavor? So what was ready salted? First of all, let's move it over. Let's get rid of this. And we get rid of this. And this. And this. Okay, lovely. Right. So did not choose ready salted. What was ready salted? Ready salted was 52%. So for question B, if you don't want ready salted, it will be 100%, which is total. 100%. And then what do? We minus the 52%. And that will give us an answer of 48%. Put your hands up. Just indicate by your hand movement that you got that particular question right. 48%. Right. So first of all, what we've done, we've worked out how many percent of the people have not chosen ready salted. But the question was how many children. So we've got to convert 48%. We've got to convert 48%. Okay, I don't think it likes the thick. Oh, just give me one moment, folks. Okay. Go back. I don't think it likes it. Okay. Okay, 48%. We have to change, we've got to work out what is 48%. So we worked out the percentage. Now, how many children were there in the survey altogether? 500. So we got to work out 48% of, it's very chunky, of 500. Now, how do we work out 48% of 500? What is the traditional old school method of working at 48%? I know the number doesn't look very nice, 48%, but how do we do 48% of 500? So let's just change color a bit. Okay, let's go to a blue. And for some reason, the thicker pens are not working too nice. Okay, let's go to the thin one. Now, 48%, remind me, folks, how do we do 48%? 48% is 48 over 100. 48%. 48 per 100. And the off means times. And the 500 goes here. This is the traditional way of doing a percentage, manual way of doing it. Now, this is a nice question to do because the numbers they've given us are nice numbers. Because we've got divide by 100 at the bottom and we've got 500 at the top. What can we do with these two numbers? We can simplify them by dividing them both by 100. 100 divided by 100 is 500 divided by 100 is 5. Lovely. I'm not happy today at all with where this pen's working. I don't know why it's not like this. We will change in a second to paint. So now we do 48 times by 5 on the top. That's what the top will give us. 48 times by 5. And on the bottom we'll have 1 times by 1. And that will give us, okay, So 48 times by 5 will give us what? Well, 40 times by 5 is 200. 8 times by 5 is 40. So that'll be 240. Are you happy with that, folks?
Yes.
So that answer will give us 240 what? We've got 240 people. Children. So that's our answer. So this was the first part of our answer. And we got the 48% over here. But then we have to change the 48% into how many people. So for that we have to do the conversion. This is the next question. We change the percentage into a fraction. And then we cancel it down, multiply top, multiply bottom, we get the answer. I'll be happy with all that, folks. So I need to rub this board up in a second and put the answers back in a moment. Right, so let's just quickly clear the screen and put some values in. Okay. A second, let's go to pen. So what was the answer here then? 240. Okay. Right. Okay, how many children, so how many, here's keyword, how many more children chose cheese and onion than salt and vinegar as their favorite choice? So where's cheese and onion? Cheese and onion is 28%. So that's percentage at the moment, so don't get too excited. We're just going to have to interpret this. What was salt and vinegar? 14%. So what's the difference first of all in percentage? 28% minus 14% gives us 28 minus the 14% gives us 14%. So at the moment we've got 14%, but that's not the answer. We need to go in terms of people. Now, did you work out what 1% is? Okay, what was 1%?
5 people.
Okay, what's 1% of 500 first of all? Okay, let's just clear some of this stuff up. There's some space for us ourselves here. Yeah, hang on a second. Okay, let's get, so what's 1%? Okay, let's have Muniba. I want to work out 1% of 500. How do I work that out? What does it mean? Nobody else, please, everybody else be quiet. 1% of 500 means that we get the 500, we have to divide it by, 1% means 1 out of 100, so we divide it by 100. So the answer is 5. So 1% is equal to 5 children. And we want how many percent now? 14%. So what's 5 times by 14, Harun?
5 times by 14 is...
Okay, if we do 10 times by 5 is 50 first of all. And then do 5 times by 4 which is?
20.
So we do that mental calculation in our head. And Huzaifa who thinks he is Harun, yeah, if the answer is 70. Okay, 70. You happy with the 70?
Yes.
Okay, put your hand if you managed to get that question right. So you managed to look at the right percentage and convert the percentage into the number of people. Okay. What is the maximum number of children who chose prawn cocktail as their favorite flavor? What is the maximum number of children who choose prawn cocktail? Now prawn cocktail, okay, let's get rid of this with a bit more of that. Okay, okay, hang on a second. Now prawn cocktail is going to be a what? Where is it going to be? It's going to be one of the others. So say for example, if all of the others prawn cocktails, that's what we have to assume here. So we have to work out now, 6% is the maximum the prawn cocktail could be. Okay. Now we know what 1% is. What did we say 1% was before? 1% was 5. So we got 6%. We have to multiply it by 5.
30.
So that will give us 30 packets of prawn cocktail, possibly maximum. Done. That one. In another survey of 300 children, 90 chose ready salted as their favorite. What is this as a percentage? So let's have a look. We have 90 out of, what's 90 out of? 300. So it's 90 out of 300. Now to change this fraction into a percentage, what do we do? To change a fraction into percentage, what do we do? Put your hand up. We multiply by 100. To change any fraction into percentage, we times by 100. Now what can we do? We should now be able to cancel. So 300 and 100, these two here. So let's just quickly circle them. So we're looking at these two. So divide this one by 100. Simplifying by divided by the highest common factor. 300 divided by 100 is And 100 divided by 100 is 1. Now can we cancel these two?
Yes.
Yes. So what can we cancel them by? Let's change again. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 90 divided by 3 is
30.
30. Now we multiply the top numbers. So 30 has been cancelled down to 1. So 30 times by 1 is 30 divided by 1. So the final answer is 30%. Sorry about that, folks. I copied up the wrong number. Apologies. Okay. Right. Done. So the question is, hang on a second, is 30% is the correct answer. Lovely. Folks, Bismillah. Okay, here comes question number 2. Below is the table of major world cities and their time difference in hours relative to London. Give all answers in the 24-hour format. Didn't we do all these kind of questions in the previous papers recently? Here's the time ones, time zone, remember? Okay, question A. What is the time in Madrid when it is midday in London? Now let's get a blue. So we're looking at Madrid, midday in London. So Madrid is how many hours forward? Plus 1. So if it is 12 o'clock in London, so in Madrid it will be? Okay, now, so 12 o'clock in London, so we've got to add 1 hour to that. 12 add 1 is?
13.
Okay, why we got 1300 hours? Because the questions are being done in 24-hour format. If you write down 1 p.m. or something, then the answer will be wrong. So be careful in that. Okay. What is the time in Tokyo? Hold on. What is the time in Tokyo when it is 10:15 p.m. in New York? Okay, hang on a second. New York, Hong Kong, question mark. Okay.
Sir,
Hang on a second. Tokyo's over here.
sir, it says
Hang on a second. So 10:15 p.m. Remember the question is in 24-hour format. So to change 10:15 p.m. into 24-hour clock, what do we do with the 10? At 12. So that gives us what? 22:15. 22:15, and that will be the time in? That's New York. Okay. Okay, we need to go from New York time to Tokyo time. We can do like a halfway house from New York to, what do you call it? Is it UK or the London time?
London time.
London time. Okay, London time. Now, to get from New York to London, what do we do? New York is how many? New York is 5 hours
Ahead. No, behind.
behind. Okay, so to change the New York time into London time, we have to add 5 hours. Okay, and then from London to Tokyo, what do we do? London to Tokyo is 8 hours ahead. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to add all together to get from New York to Tokyo. We need to add another 13 hours onto the time. So here we go. Here's 22:15. Okay, we're going to add 13 hours now. Should we add 13 hours from adding from here? Or should we use a number line? Let's use a number line. Okay, yeah? So here's 22:15. Okay, this is a quick method as well. 22:15 is the timeline. Okay, let's put on some of the other main points. 22:15. How much time is from 22:15 to the end of the day, which is? How many hours from 22:15 and 12 o'clock midnight?
1:45.
So we got 1 hour and 45 minutes.
You got 12.
Hang on a second. Right. Now, 22:15 is where we started. And we're going to add 1 hour 45 to get to there. How much time do we have left to get to the next, okay. So from 22:15, we've got to add 13 hours on. We already added 1 hour 45. How many hours are left? So 13 minus 1 hour is?
12 hours.
12 hours minus 45 is?
11 hours and 15.
11 hours. So we've got 11 hours 15 to add on. So 0, 0, 0, 0. Add 11 hours 15 will arrive at 11:15. Simple as that. And 11:15 is the answer. Okay. Next question. Jamie is flying from Madrid to New York on a 7-hour flight and leaves Madrid at 11:25. What is the time when he reaches New York? Okay, right. We know that Madrid is 1 hour ahead of London. So to get from Madrid, if we change that back into the London time, what do? We have to minus the 1 hour because it's 1 hour ahead. Okay? And if you want to get from London time to New York time, and New York is 5 hours behind. So you have to minus another 5 hours. So to go from Madrid to New York, we're going to have to, what do? Minus 6 hours. Okay. So what we can do, we can leave in PM for the moment. So, Faisal, I have 11:25 and I want to minus 11:25 6 hours. So I'm going to park it over here, the 6 under the hours. So 11:25 minus 6, what will that give us?
5:25.
That will give us 5. $25. Okay. Something else. Right. So 525 will give us the answer so far, but we haven't done one step yet. What's the last step? Okay, Iman, can you give me the last step, please? It says that the flight, what we worked as time differences, okay, of between Madrid and New York. Now we need to add on to that the flight time, which was 7 hours. So we have 525 at 725, which gives us 1225. Okay, 1225. Now, okay, remember we were working in PM format. We went back by 6 hours, so that's 5:25 PM. Then we added 7 hours, so that's 12 o'clock midnight plus 25. So if we change that back into 24-hour clock now, what do we do to it? Okay, 24-hour clock. This is midnight, so that will be 00:25. Okay. Remember, when you get to midnight, this is midnight time here. This is midnight. If we get to midnight, midnight's always a 00. We don't write 24. But after 2300 hours, we get to 00, which is equivalent to 24. So that gives an answer of 00:25 is the final answer, and that goes over here. 00:25 is the time which is New York in 24-hour clock format. So if you do use PM, don't forget to change it back to 24-hour clock at the end. Okay, are we happy with that question now?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, right. We need to... Here comes the next question. Part D. When it is midday in New York, it is midnight in Hong Kong. What is the time difference in Hong Kong relative to London? New York to Hong Kong time. From New York to Hong Kong, we said there's a 12-hour difference because we've gone from, let's choose a different color, 1200 hours, and we went to midnight. So we had 12 hours extra. But we said that the New York was 5 hours behind, so we minus 5 hours, so we know altogether that this answer will now be a total of 7 hours. Next question, part E. If it is 4:45 PM on a Monday in London, how many of the 5 cities listed above it is it a Tuesday? So we got 4:45 PM. Now 4:45 PM is how many, what's the time in 24-hour clock? Quickly change the 24-hour clock.
16:45.
So we add another 12. So that gives you 16:45. That's a 24-hour clock. Now, they want to know how many of the days have gone to the next day. So 16:45 to get to the next day, what time do you have to get to? You have to reach what time? To get to the next day, we have to be at midnight, which is, in a sense, in 2400 hours. I'll put that in brackets because that's what we mean by midnight. Okay, now, let's have a look. So how many of the, so 16:45, let's have a look. What about New York? Is New York, is it ahead or behind? It's behind. Tokyo is ahead or behind? It's ahead by 8 hours. So if you do 16:45 and we add 8 hours onto it, 16:45 add 8 will give us what time? 24 and 45. So will that be in the next day? And the answer is yes. So we know Tokyo will be in the next day. Madrid won't be in the next day. Sydney would definitely be in the next day because that's more than this. And what was Hong Kong? Hong Kong was, how much was it? 7 hours ahead. That one won't be in the next day. So how many of them will it be? It was how many? So that will be 2. And that is the end of that particular question. Question number 3. It says, Amit and Tara both work at a corner shop and get paid each week in the ratio of 3 to 4. So the ratio of 3 is Amit and the ratio of 4 is Tara. Okay. Amit earns £48 per week. So from the 3, we have to get to 48. Right. Okay. Let's see. How does 3 become 48? What do we do to 3 to become 48? Okay. Let's have Mr. Faisal. How does 3 become 48? So 3 has to become 48. What do we do to the 3 to become 48? I'll give you a clue. We have to multiply it by something. Okay. We have to multiply it by? Excellent. Well done. Okay. If you multiply this side by 16 of our ratio, what do we do to the other side? So we got the 4 on the other side. Okay. And we do 4 times by 16. Harun, what's 4 times by 16?
16.
Okay, 4 times by 16 will give us an answer of? Excellent, well done. I don't know what's happening to this pen today. It's working really wonky. It's not giving me nice smooth lines today. £64 is the answer to the first part. Part B now. Assuming there are 4 weeks in 1 month, what are the combined earnings of Amit and Tara over a 1 month period? So this is the earnings. Well, we know Amit earns how much a week? Amit earns £48 a week, and how much does the other person earn a week? 16. Okay, so what happens when we combine these together? 112. So that gives us 112 £112 per? No, per week. Per week. That's for both of them. Okay, per week. And then we got to multiply this by 4. By 4. Because we got this how much they both earn, and we multiply it by 4 to give you for the month. So 112 times by 4 gives 448. Okay, Harun, do you get that? Is that okay? So 448. Oops. This pen is really not writing today at 94. I just can't seem to get it to. Give us from that. That's not nice at all. Okay, lovely. Right. Question C. Over a month, they spend 3/8 of their combined earnings. How much money left over? So how much did they earn in a month? Remind me. How much did they earn in a month? They earned? How much did they earn? 448 per month. Yeah, combined earnings. Over a month, they spend 3/8 of this. So the next question is, we got to work out 3/8 of 448. Okay, I need a technique for this. That's a Faisal. You should know this by heart now. Nobody else. Faisal, I want to work out, turn around, Huzaifa. I want to work out 3/8 of 448. What's the technique for doing it? What do we do?
448 by 8.
448. First of all, we divide by the bottom number, and then we times by the top number. Right, 448 divided by 8. Let's have Uzma. 448 divided by 8 is equal to 56. Now 56, we multiply that by 3, and that gives us a total of
168.
how much?
168.
Okay. Okay. So we've just worked out how much they have actually spent, but the question was how much money did they have left? So we have to start with our original amount here, 448. So we do 448, and we minus how much they spent, which was 168, and that will give you an answer of 280 pounds. Okay, another way of doing this question a bit more quicker is this. Right, I'm going to rub this part out and show you a quicker way of doing it. Rather than doing an extra step here, we could have just worked out, instead of 3/8, we could have worked out
180.
If you know you've spent 3 eighths, how much do you have left?
7 eighths. 5 eighths.
5 eighths. We could just work out 5 eighths instead and that would give us the answer straight away. So we replace the 3 with a 5 over here, and that would have given us here 280 straight away. So that would have been a quicker method of doing that particular question. Good. Let's move on to the next part of the question. Okay, we need to get rid of all of this. Okay, next. Amit and Tara give 15% of their remaining earnings to a local charity every month. How much money do they give in charity now? So over a month they spend this much. So how much is that? This is how much they had left, is that right? They had 280 pounds left because they give 15% of this to a local charity. So question D. So we have to now work out 15% of 280. Okay. Now, to work out 15% of 280, let's have Iman. Give me this rundown.
You work out 10% first.
So we work out 10% first.
28.
Hang on a second. 10% of 280, what do we do? How do we do that, Mr. Zaifa? We divide by 10, because 10% is 1/10. So you knock the 0 off. 28. Okay. Now, I've worked out 10%. Muniba, can you show me how we work out the 5% now? You know 10%, I need to get to 5%. So 10% to 5%, what do we do?
Divide 28 by 2.
We halve the 10%, so we halve this as well. So it becomes 28 divided by 2. What's 28 divided by 2? 14. Okay, now we need to finish up the question. To work out the 15%, what do we do with the 10 and the 5? We add them. And 28 and 14 will give us?
42.
Okay, so the answer here is? £42. Excellent, lovely. Okay, we happy with that one? Yes. After taking away the money that's spent and the money donated to charity, how much money is left over each month? So we had before, how much was left before? After the money that's spent, how much they have money left over? 280. What did they do with the 280? Then they gave some money to charity. How much money did they give to charity? 42. So we need to do for question part E, we need to do now £280 minus the £42 they give to charity, and that will give us the grand total of what is left over.
238 pounds.
So the answer is £238. Thank you, Mr. Faisal, for got them all right. MSL. Okay. So 2, 3, 8. Okay, that's the end of that question. Let's talk to the Bismillah. Okay, folks, welcome back to question number 4. Answer the following question using the shapes below. Okay, now we're looking at shapes to do with volumes and areas. The area of the shaded side is 45 centimeters squared. What is the volume of shape A? Now the volume is equal to what? How do we look at the volume of a prism? Volume is equal to, what do we say? We say it is the, okay, area of the shaded side. Okay. Here shaded size. And then what we do, we multiply it by the length of the shape or thickness of the shape. How do you want to look at it? Now let's have a look. Let's put some values in. So we have, what's the length? The length is 12.
And
what is the area of the side?
something 45.
45. The area of the side is 45. So over here we can put in 45.
9.
Okay. And now we can work out the volume. So the volume is equal to the area of the shaded side times by the length of the thickness of the shape. So we got 45 times by 12, and that will give us an answer of, who's in that? What's okay, let's have Uzma. 5?
40.
40, excellent. 540 centimeters cubed for the volume of that side. So 5.
Massive volume.
Yeah. Okay. Shh. The volume of shape B is 675. What is the width of X? That's a lovely question. I call this a reverse percentage question. So let's have a look at that. Same formula. So volume is equal to the area of the side, the area of the face, we call it sometimes as well in mathematics, multiplied by the length of the thickness. Right. Now we know that the volume of the triangular prism B, what's the volume? What's the volume? 600. So they've given us the answer. So the volume is 675. So now they've given us the answer. And they want us to work out the X. So what is the area? Well, how do you work out the area? We've got to work out the area of this shape here. So how do we work out the area of this side shape here? Any ideas? So we've got to do base time by the height and then divided by 2. Because this is the area of a triangle. And then we multiply by the length. The length is here in the shape. This is the length of the shape X. So this is the bit that we've got to work out. Okay, so we know this part. We need to put the values in for this part and then work out that part. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to rub off the B and put the B value in. So one at a time. Watch this. Okay, what is the B value? Okay. The base is, what's the base? 9. Okay, I'm going to rub off the height now. So let's see what the height is. What is the height, folks? The height is of the shape of the triangle is 7.5. Okay. So we have to work out the X value after knowing all of this. Right. I need some calculations on this, folks. Let's see what we get. So 9 times by 7.5. Okay, so 9 times by 7.5 is 67.5 divided by 2. We don't need the brackets anymore. That's just there, just to section that part off. Time by X is equal to 675. Now, if you look over here now, 675 here, that is the same nearly as 67.5, isn't it? What's the difference? This number here has been divided by 10. Okay, so 67.5. This number, if you divide it by 10, it gives us this number. So let's have a look how we are going to do this question. So, okay. So 67.5. If we multiply this number by 10, what do we get? Okay. So let's get rid of the X for the moment. And let's have a look. We are going to put, so 67.5, if you multiply it by 20, now, what did I say earlier? If you multiply by 10, isn't it? If you multiply by 20 and then divide it by 2, that's the same effect of multiplying by 10. So the missing number in the question is 20. Because 67.5 times by 10 is this number. But don't forget, we have to times it by 20, then divide it by 2, that's the same as times it by 10. So the answer is 20 for that question there. 20 centimeters. Lovely. That question is done. And we need to clear the board. Okay. Okay, question C. What is the difference between the volumes of shape A and shape B? Well, the volume of shape A, we worked it out, it was 540. And the volume of shape B, they told us it is 675 from the information. What is the difference between the volumes? What do we do? Okay, 675. And we minus from it 540. And if you do that calculation, 675 minus 540 will give us an answer of 135. Okay. What is the ratio of the volume of shape A to the volume of shape B? Okay, now, the first shape A, what was the value? 540. And the volume of the next one is 675. So what do? We need to simplify this ratio. Let's do it by continuous cancellation. So what should we divide them both by? That will definitely go
5.
5. So let's divide them both by 5. And I want my students to start giving me some of the answers.
Okay.
So folks, if you divide this by 5, you get this. That by 5, you get that. Now we need to simplify it further. Let's cancel it again. So what should we cancel them by now? Divide them both by, the biggest number that goes into them is 30. So 120 divided by 30 is
14. And 150 divided
is 4.
Oh yeah.
And 150 divided by 3 is?
4, 3. I mean, that's 5.
So the answer is 4 ratio.
5. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, lovely. That's done. So what is the difference between the number of faces on shape A and shape B? That should be a bit more of a straightforward question, hopefully. Okay, how many faces do we have in shape A? Now shape A is a pentagonal prism. So you have 1, 2 and 5 on the outside. How many sides does that have?
7.
1, 2 and 5 is 7. And this one has 2 front and the back, and then you have another 3. So that has 5. So we have to do 7, take away 5. So the answer is 2. That's the end of that question. So bismillah, okay folks, welcome back to question number 5. Just get a blue pen. Kate is playing with the fair spinner shown below. So first of all, you look at how many sections we have. We have how many sections we have altogether? 6. What is the probability of landing on a 9? How many 9s we have?
2.
So we can say this 2 out of 6. And when you give probability, we need to cancel it down. So divide that by 2. Divide that by 2. So that gives us a finished answer of 1/3. The line really here. Put the back in. Lovely. Okay, next question. What is the percentage chance of landing on a square number? Give your answer to the nearest whole number. First of all, let's have a look at some of the square numbers that we know of. So if they mention the word square number, let's have a look at the square numbers. So the first square number is 1 times by 1 is 1. The next square number is 2 times by 2, which is 4. And the next square number is 3 times by 3, which is 9. There's no point in going further than that because the next square number is going to be much bigger. Now, let's get the rubber. Let's get rid of all this for the moment, just over here. Make some space. What we're going to do now is highlighter. Right. So how many square numbers do we have? Which is here. 1 is square number, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 square number?
What?
Yes. 9 square number?
Yeah.
9 square number?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question goes, what percentage of chance? So let's work that out. So we have, how many of them do we have? 4 out of 6. And we have to change that into a percentage. Now, so what do we get here now? 4, 6, if we try to cancel that down, what will that give us? 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we get 2/3. Now we should all know that 1/3 is worth 33 1/3 recurring percentage, alright? You should know that's a fact. So 2/3, without us having to go through all the calculation, 2/3 is going to be double of that. So it won't be 33 1/3, it will be 66 2/3. So if we just kind of jump it a bit, we should know this nice and easy. 66 2/3 of a percentage. Now let's have a look how we interpret this for our answer over here. And it goes, give it to the nearest whole number. Now, if you look at that, 66 2/3 is very close to 67. So our final answer is 67. 67%. Okay, that one's done. Next question. What is the probability of landing on a prime number? Okay, very important now. Let's have a quick look and everybody analyze what we consider to be prime numbers. Okay, right. Give me the first prime number that we know of fast. So first prime number, and please don't say 1.
2.
2, excellent. 1 is not a prime number because it only has one factor. 2 is the first prime number. So 2 is the first prime number. The next prime number is 3. And the next prime number is 5. And the next prime number is 7. And the next prime number is not 9. It is 11. But we don't need to consider 11. 11 is not even on there. Okay, them are the prime numbers that exist. Okay, hang on 1 second. So let's rub these ones off over here, and let's get a highlighter, and let's have a look what we got. So 2, 3, 5, 7. So do we have a 2?
No.
Do we have a 3?
No. Yes,
3.
yes.
Do we have a 5?
No.
Do you have a 7?
No.
Okay, so how many do you have numbers we have which are prime numbers and
1.
1? So we have 1 out of. Okay, that's done. Lovely. Next question. The spinner is spun twice. What is the probability of landing on 9 both times? Okay. Now, they want to know what is the probability of getting a 9 and the probability of getting a 9.
What?
Okay. Don't get 9 both times.
Oh.
Probability of a 9 and the probability of a 9. Okay. So let's have a look. What is the probability of getting a 9 the first time? How many 9s do we have?
26.
Okay, we said before, the probability of getting a 9 was, here it is, 1/3. What does the word and mean in probability? I told you last time. The word and means times. Okay. Now, the probability of getting the second 9 is dependent on the first one. It is called an independent event. The probability of getting the second 9 doesn't depend on you getting the first 9. So it's going to be exactly the same fraction. Do you remember we done the last paper, we had to change the fractions because we took 1 out, we had 1 less and things. This is not that, this is called independent events. So we got 1/3 times by 1/3, that gives us a nice answer of 1/9. Okay, that's the end of that paper. Okay folks, well, thanks for working so hard. We're going to stop there and have a break.